G'day Spurs fans, Paul Hotspur hippie here, the only psychedelic soccer show on the internet, and yeah, truth be told, a bit gutted of course. Daniel Levy has sacked Ange Postecoglou in the statement. It said something about Tottenham have got to compete on all fronts. Like, I can't remember us ever doing that. 1987 we did that, we didn't win anything that year either, but it was a good fun year. I just didn't think it would happen. I didn't think it would happen because we won a trophy. So that's not good enough. And it's not good enough for some of our loud gobby fans who, some of them are celebrating this more than Europa Cup win. I don't understand that. Others are saying that, yeah, well, we should have won the Europa League. And if you take that away, we were shit, these delusional arseholes that just want misery. But, when I've been supporting Tottenham since 1976, and I used to go in the 80s and 90s to White Hart Lane. I moved out to Australia in 95, and it wasn't long after I came here that I started hearing about Ange Postecoglou, mainly on the excellent World Game show with Les Murray and Johnny Warren, who are two of the best football presenters you could ever see. And so I followed his career, I had some success in 2015 with the Australia winning the Asian Cup. That was pretty rocking. Following, curious to see how he'd get on at Yokohama. But you know what? It was when he was at Celtic, man. It was when he was at Celtic, and I could see the feeling of unity as I teleport about. But it was when Ange went to Celtic. That's when I started thinking, I'd like to see this guy at Tottenham. I didn't think he was ready before that, but when he was at Celtic, it wasn't just the football. It wasn't just his personality. It wasn't the fact that they won nearly everything while he was there. But I could see, and bear in mind, this was we were coming into the second season of Conte where the wheels completely fell off. Like, I quite enjoyed Conte's first season. But the second season, even over the summer, there was the rumours about, is he going to sign a new contract and all this, and the transfer window was a bit arse. And we were falling to bits, that I could see Celtic just getting stronger and stronger as a fan, as a club. It's hard for me to put this into words. It's the feeling of unity. The fans, the players, the coach, everyone was having a massive party up there, while we were wallowing around in misery down in London or wherever you are in the world, that was the feeling I really wanted to be back at Tottenham, because that's the Tottenham I remember, and I think that's faded away to some extent, and maybe it's because I'm being coloured because I don't live in England anymore, so unfortunately a lot of access I have to Spurs stuff is through Spurs YouTube, which is just horrible. Horrible beyond all belief. And I wanted that feeling of unity. I wanted to feel like a club again. And as Ange's time went on at Spurs, I was kind of doubting whether I would see that happen. Yeah, we had the first 10 games, which were magnificent, and I thought, here we go. And then the wheels fell off that one. But the thing I'm most grateful to Ange for is that we did get that feeling. And it took him winning a Europa League trophy to do it. But that street parade, that victory parade, that showed me that we're still there. We're still there. Tottenham fans are still out there, not the gobby ones online that know better, but the ones that love their club. Nearly 250,000 people went out there. And so even though it's just for that day, I think Ange succeeded in what I wanted him to bring to the club. Success in that, okay, that's one thing, but that feeling of unity. And I want to see that continue under whoever manager we've got. As I'm doing this video, the rumours are that Thomas Frank is head of the list. I don't care. Whoever the manager is, I'm going to get behind them. That's what I always do. So all those people out there, all the trolls that say I'm only supporting Spurs because I'm Australian and Ange is Australian and all that old crap. I'm still here, folks. I'll still be here long after you lot go as well, mate. It was never it was never about Ange being Australian. It was not. It was the fact that I'd seen a lot of his career and I thought he was a good guy. He knew football and I knew he'd win us something at Spurs. And he did. And he did. And his photo and that team's photo is going to be up on the walls of White Hart Lane forever now. That's history. You can't erase that. So, in 2 years, which is all too brief in my opinion, he's stamped his name on the history of the club. Well done, Ange. Thanks for all the good times, man. He's going to be fine. He's going to be fine. He's getting a nice little payout. I mean, he's going to be disappointed that he couldn't see this team develop more, because I think we have got the makings of something good here. It's up to the next guy to run with that now and see what they can do. But he'll be all right. He'll get another job and he'll win more trophies. I've got no doubt about it. No doubt about it. I just hope he doesn't go to a Premier League club, because then he'll become my sworn enemy. But as for the manager, the thing that really, I mean, there's a few things that really bloody annoy me about this, to be honest, but the fact that we sacked him and we haven't got a replacement lined up, this just smacks of when Conte went, didn't it? Just disorganised, rubbish. I could understand it if they say, all right, bye Ange, hello, whoever, ready to go. But no, we're just going to be holding our dicks in our hands, waiting for a manager. And I don't have to remind people that one of the reasons we got Ange Postecoglou is because no other bugger wanted the job. Nagelsmann didn't want it, Slot didn't want it, XYZ didn't want it. Ange wanted it. And he made it work. So I don't know where the big long line of managers is queuing up these days. So we'll have to see who walks in through the door. I mean, it's at times like this. This club feels like it's been in transition ever since Keith Birkinshaw left, which is shades of what's happened recently, although we all knew that Keith was leaving after the UEFA Cup final in '84. But it was bittersweet nonetheless. And since then, we've had flurries, but we've had disappointments as well, It's always been a transition year, You had David Pleaty, went then the Terry Venables thing, the Jerry Francis years. We just never got going, and now we finally look like we're getting to go, and the club get cold feet. And a lot of fans, well, not a lot of fans, I think they're in the real minority actually, got cold feet as well for all the talk for years. All I've heard from Spurs fans online is saying, I don't care about the league, where's my trophy? There's your trophy, mate. No. 17th in the league is unacceptable. Absolute hogwash. Remains to see what happens with the team now. Are players going to want to leave? Players going to want to stay? What players are going to walk in the door? What players are going to walk out the door? Because we've got a cup to win, don't forget, folks. We have got the Super Cup against PSG. That's not far away. It's just gonna be rumours and bullshit about what manager we're getting. So if it is Frank, I hope he's done by the end of the weekend and he's signed up, whoever it is. I don't think Thomas Frank is a step up by any means, but hey, if he becomes manager, he'll have my full support. If I was going to pick someone, I'd have to be going, if you want progression, you want someone who's a winner. So that would be Glasner. He's not going anywhere. Slot, he didn't want to come to us before. He's not going anywhere. Eddie Howe, doubtful. I'd have him though. That's about it though, isn't it? Where are the other winners? Where are the people with medals and trophies queuing up in the job centre? There aren't any. Actually, you know what? Be a great opportunity now that there's a vacancy at Tottenham for all these smart-ass YouTubers that have consistently wrecked our club. Maybe get your CVs all in order, get your resumes done up, send them in. I'm sure your expertise will do you well as they shuffle your bit of bog roll on the table in front of Levy and whoever's in the boardroom. I mean, the other thing that people are saying now is, his big shake-ups at Tottenham is getting ready for a takeover and Levy's going. I mean, no one knows any of that crap, do they? It's all pretty bloody depressing, to be quite honest. I'm not ashamed to say I'm pretty quite sad over this whole thing. I know perhaps when you're watching YouTube, you're used to YouTubers either having the emotion of seething anger or self-loathing, insecurity. But I'm not one of those. I feel happy and elated when we win and glory, and sad when shit like this happens, because I think it's a big mistake by the club. You know, I mean, I can't believe Daniel Levy's saying competing on all fronts. The guy's a joke. The guy's a joke. Like I said, we've never done that. There always comes a point where you've got to sacrifice one competition for another. That's what we've always done. Obviously sacrificed a bit too much this time, didn't we? What can you do, eh? What can you do? Just smile and say, come on you Spurs. That's about it, really. Porting around a bit, and I've called it a day. Back home on the roof. The sun's still in the sky. It's sinking in, man. Really hit home. I had a couple of young Chelsea fans in the back of the car, all eager and excited over the new season. It's like, I can't do this today. Now, I've had a few goodbye messages from mainly Australians, a couple of Greeks that are Ange supporters, and they're going to follow him to their new club. So I can see my subscribers going down, and I was expecting that. So I hope I gave you some giggles while you were here, and I hope you enjoy following the big man to his next destination. And I hope the YouTube channels that are in that team are a bit of a higher quality and a bit more supportive than Tottenham's are at the moment. Hey, look, we'll see what happens in the next week. But for now, I'm going to lick my wounds a little bit. Then I'll dust myself off, get behind the new gaffer and whoever that is. Look forward to the Super Cup and whatever happens next season, because the Spurs will always go marching on. Till next time, peace and love, man, and come on you Spurs.